And E straight to the wall. Six like, oh, where did this guy come from? Contractz to W. Got on this week. First blood. Contractz killing Rabbit.
Welcome to The Breakdown. I'm Zyrene. This week, we're going to be taking a look at League's newest citizen, Kayn. Kayn has been struggling in solo queue, and although a mystery to many, he was played to much success by Cloud9's jungler Contractz, who utilized Kayn's early strength, mobility, and transformation. Let's get into it. Contractz and Cloud9 demonstrated a thorough understanding of Kayn and how to get the most out of this champion. In their games against Phoenix 1, C9 invested in Contractz by leashing his early jungle clears, getting him out onto the map, and enabling the champion's high-tempo style. Kayn as a champion has some of the highest level 1 stats in the game. Out of 137 champions, at level 1, Kayn has the 5th highest armor, the highest mana regen in the game, and the rest of his stats are all at or near the top of the charts. This is offset by the fact that he has some of the worst growth stats in the game. This means relative to other champions, Kayn is strongest early and should be making use of this advantage to gain a further edge over his opponents. Stealing away enemy jungle camps, fighting the enemy jungler, and creating pressure via invading is how Kayn plays best. In short, Kayn should be a bully, much like Contractz was early on in his game versus Team Dignitas. But what sets Kayn apart from the other bullies is his mobility, which enables him to invade with relative safety. His kit might not look it, but Kayn has best-in-class early game mobility. Looking at the champions played in the jungle on patch 7.14, most champions in the jungle have a single way to get over walls without utilizing an ultimate. But only Kayn and Lee Sin have early access to 2 ways. But what makes Kayn's mobility just that much better and in that S tier is the freedom that he has with it. Both Reaping Slash and Shadow Step are free targeted, whereas Lee Sin has the prerequisite of needing to land a skill shot or have a nearby allied target. Reaping Slash also has a 7-second cooldown at level 1. As a primary damaging ability, this makes sense. But as a movement tool, this is an absurdly low cooldown. If you compare this level of mobility to other junglers, it highlights just how slippery Kayn is early on in the game. And because Kayn has the highest mana regen in the game, completing the first part of a jungle enchant gives him enough mana regen while in the jungle to freely cast Reaping Slash and never run out of mana. When he reaches this point, Kayn should be using Reaping Slash much like Nidalee uses her Pounce to navigate the jungle. Even though it's his primary damaging ability, you can see Contractz using it to get to camps faster, pushing Kayn's strengths and saving the longer cooldown Shadow Step for ganks, healing, or just in case he gets invaded. Putting it all together, Kayn as a champion is what I would call an invader. He has great early game stats, unrivaled mobility, and needs to use these or else he naturally falls behind because of his lack of scaling and utility. I asked Contractz about how to approach playing Kayn, and he said, Kayn is unique. The mindset you want to have is getting whatever advantage you can early. You need to spice up your pathing and ganking routes because you can become very unpredictable, and you have insane counter jungling abilities that can get you a really big advantage early, and you can be 100% safe while doing so, especially against the meta tanks. When it comes to his invades, Kayn's are low risk, high reward. You shouldn't be scared to dip into the dark side of the jungle. Let's go through some scenarios. Contractz goes for an invade. When he gets caught, he makes use of all of his mobility spells to get away to safety. When he doesn't find the enemy jungler, he's stealing their camps to compensate for his poor stat growths through a gold and experience advantage. In times when he does find the enemy jungler, he does one of 2 things. In his match versus Phoenix 1, he tracks Mike Young and uses that information to set up his own game. Alternatively, he's using Kayn's high base stats to trade. Even if he doesn't get the kill, just dealing damage to enemy champions rewards Kayn with orbs to work towards the Darkened Scythe transformation. Although Kayn has 2 transformations, there's a clear winner here in terms of which of these is favored at the moment. Transforming into Rost gives him an immense amount of spell vamp and allows Kayn to bridge into the mid-game by adding a 1-second AoE knockup to Blade's reach. Not only does he get some much-needed utility, but this means he now has even more survivability. If he already has an advantage, transforming into Rost makes it even harder for the enemy to take you down and get back into the game, which Contractz demonstrated when invading a 3-kill, 0-death Mike Young and healing 855 HP over the course of 4 seconds. I asked Contractz about the gap between solo queue and professional play and what mistakes he sees players making the most on Kayn, and he said he saw them trying to make too many big mid-game plays around level 6 to 9. Kayn is at his weakest at that point in the game, and instead of looking for big fights, should instead be looking for small skirmishes and ganks around that time so he can get his transformation. Because once you get your Dark form, you're substantially stronger and your team fighting immensely improves. Kayn is a different type of champion, one whose playstyle rewards junglers who are willing to take risks early and get in the face of the enemy. But if you don't take these risks, then you're not playing to Kayn's strengths and allowing his weaknesses to surface. So Contractz has a message for all the solo queue Kayn mains still struggling to get wins. Get good and start invading.
Welcome back to round 2 of Cloud9 versus Team Liquid. Kayn player?
I have not yet. I've been playing all the tanks.
You will see.
I'm waiting on some Kayn buffs.
All right, we're gonna get the laundry list from last game, go down what we need to talk about. Great game for Team Liquid, and that puts a player of the game, Piglet, right there for his first player of the game coming in. A few of the teammates stealing it away throughout their wins previously, but this time he was the one shining.
Yeah, on that Kog'Maw, he had no fear, basically. He was continually getting dove by Jarvan in the Cataclysm. It is easier to do when you have a Jen at your back and buffing you up, but he played it quite well. Very high DPS output for him. Most on the team and really able to bring that 5-on-5 through. Goldenglue was definitely a big part as well.
Yeah, the man on the screen.
A lot of good things for Team Liquid to actually be happy about at that game, right? They took a game off Cloud9. They have been struggling quite recently. And another, next on the list, our laundry list of things, Riv, is going to be Dardoch is in.
Fresh fingers on the rift.
Even though Reignover had a good, Gragas game, they're bringing Dardoch back in. He played both previous games. He was a Gragas and one game on Jarvan as well. Happy to get right back in there. So they're still utilizing their substitutes quite frequently. This is only a single change, though. Everybody else is going to remain the same.
And we'll see what they have going into this game. Obviously, we swapped sides, so C9 is going to be able to play a little bit of that take and give game and picks and bans. The Kalista actually left up quite a bit throughout that and not even picked. Actually, banned in second phase, I should say. But yeah, throughout that phase, wasn't picked. That's what I was going for. Then I realized I kind of left it hanging a little too much.
Not picked.
So we'll see as we get to picks and bans. We know the LeBlanc and the Zac are there. Liquid tried to flex that Maokai last game, but it was Matt picking up that Janna for the first time this split to help out there. Piglet Kog'Maw. What happens this time? Jensen, does he go back to the TF? Maybe, maybe not, but it was his first pick here in the summer.
Yeah, it was interesting because Cloud9, even with the Twisted Fate, even with the Trundle, very good split pushers and triple Mountain Drakes, not able to apply enough pressure. And it was really the decisive shot calling and the force there of Team Liquid in the mid game around Baron that kind of broke that split pushing strategy. So maybe Cloud9 will go with a more standard and also take up the 5-on-5, grab some tanks, a little bit of scale and backline for themselves. Maokai's off the table, though. They won't get their hands on that one. Team Liquid not going to even let them try and first pick it. Yeah,
Impact in still. Though they're going to be a bit tanky on the top side. Wonder if he will bring out anything that will be kind of damaging bruiser-ish. There's that Thresh Band, the Elise one, as we saw before.
Whoa, Caitlyn's left up.
But Caitlyn is left up. And that was the choice for Team Liquid. Piglet says, that's fine. I will lane against this.
Yeah, let's see what he takes. Will it be the Kog'Maw again? Caitlyn's been notorious, even with the attack speed nerfs coming through. Huge amount of damage, long range for lane bowling. There's a Kog'Maw. Kind of expected for Piglet round 2. Had a lot of success last time. Maybe they'll get the Janna as well. There are definitely a lot of good Ardent Sensor supports right now that can go along with the Kog'Maw. Any source of CC or healing can proc Bond of Stone as well, which then in turn counts as healing for more Ardent Sensor magic as well.
will it be? What do they answer with on the side of Cloud9? The Jarvan is locked in. That's going to feel good for Contractz to have a pretty strong early game for himself. And also harass, it looks like Dardoch on Gragas as well. So even though we get the swap of the junglers, we will get the same jungler champion. Bard gets locked in for Smoothie.
I actually love this lane. There's so much damage in a Bard Caitlyn lane. You can really try and bully early on. Bard, ever since the meat system was kind of reworked, definitely gets a lot of damage on those auto attacks, and we get to see Smoothie with something he hasn't used in a little while.
Huh. Very much the same for Team Liquid, even though they have swapped over to the red side this game. They would just need to grab that Maokai, which they don't have. We're looking for that Alistar down on the bot side for Smooth. Oh yeah, it was Smooth. I got myself confused. 4 seconds here. Another ban up for Cloud9. It's going to be the Janna, actually, so they do take the away from Matt. Less of the comp they had last time, as they remind me what he was throwing down. Final ban here from Team Liquid.
All right, gonna go take another whack at the mid lane here, maybe? Yes, sir. Syndra finds herself as well, grouped in with the LeBlanc and Cassiopeia. Maybe, again, we'll see the Twisted Fate from C9. I don't think so. It doesn't seem like they're the type to try the same over again, so it could be just a team fight. Go Orianna for a bit more control. First thing off the bat, though, should definitely be, as I said, another Ardent Sensor support here, trying to deny the best possible shielders for Kog'Maw. There's still many other options for it, but the premier two here, Jenna and Lourlo.
Matt's got 7 plays on that Karma. This was banned last game, but it was actually banned towards Smoothie. Let's see if they want it. It's going to be maybe a Gnar pickup, so Lourlo can be tanking on the top side. They'll just wait to see what Matt actually has to protect Piglet against all the way through. We'll get the last few picks from Cloud9 here.
Interesting. So Jarvan could be flexed here for Contractz, could be flexed up for Impact as well into the Gnar. It is something that, especially if you are able to get some gank pressure onto Gnar, Jarvan definitely has the possibilities of trying to pressure early and can set up ganks and go for those. But Contractz
Crowd's getting hyped.
as that Orianna, as I said before, is the more team fight oriented one.
All right. Pretty beefy comp coming in here now with this Galio, a team that wants to go in and fight quite a bit. And they have the protection to do so under the tempered fate of a Bard. We'll see if Cloud9 can get that synergy to work. It can be really good, or it could be really chaotic.
It is clear though, and this is that expected kind of reaction that we were talking about before. After game 1 with the split push, not working out for Cloud9, they default back to 5-on-5. We get some hard engage. Here's the combo you're looking for with this comp. It's a Bard ultimate into the Jarvan Galio combo. It pretty much guarantees it. Like, if you have people in stasis there, they're going to sit around for the Galio ultimate to come down. You get a big knock up there. There are also options where even just the Bard and Caitlyn can combine. If they have to, do their own work in 2-for-2, you can set up Caitlyn traps pretty easily as well. Or Jensen went with a more team fight oriented mid laner. So all things point towards Cloud9 saying, all right, fine, we'll just beat you in the 5-on-5 then. You guys were able to pressure our split push and force us to collapse, then we will be collapsed.
Mix and match from split push now to fight. We'll see what happens. The coaches shake hands and they head off to the backside, leaving the players now to the mechanics and their own minds. Hashtag C9 win, hashtag TL win. Team Liquid backs against the walls for most of game 1. They were able to catapult off that wall right into C9's base, kind of turn them over. And I'm sure C9 was wondering what happened there. They'll have to take another look, but no time to reminisce right now. We're going into game 2. They got to look ahead, and they got to look to bring this to a game 3 if they want to keep the series alive. We're on the riff. Hashtag C9 win, hashtag TO win.
Yep, Team Liquid are looking to catch up to Echo Fox here. If they can get another win and end this series quickly. Meanwhile, Cloud9, as we said, every win is important between those teams that are kind of top 6 and jockeying for position in playoffs, looking for seeding so they don't get kicked out too early.
No coins this game. So we got Spell Thieves, good words, and Matt with starting out in Relic Shield. He said bot lane could be pretty treacherous, coming from the side of Sneaky and Smoothie. We'll have to see if Piglet and Matt also try to go hard. A good cluster blows could change that lane around.
Risque.
He's not wearing much.
Oh, he's gonna
Slowly moving down, but not so sneaky. Over the wall, gonna level his E. And he's gonna start with that and need a bit more help from his team. It's not gonna be terrible, but
yeah,
he'll get his skills in order.
nice little chunk out of Dardoch there to start it off. It'll be a little bit less healthy. You know, I wonder if he'll actually get any help on his pull then, because it's a pretty significant amount. He's trying to use his passive to heal back up. 1 charge burned. Not too big of an issue. Actually, they are going to have a very good pull, so it won't really matter there.
That's true. It'll get locked up, stunned, a little extra damage, and they can retreat out. Ignites to exhaust in that bot lane. Smoothie obviously running a little more damage with Sneaky in their Caitlyn Bard matchup. Looks like Goldenglue actually goes for the heal over cleanse this game without that much pressure of hard crowd control to just about a lot of the competition.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to cleanse a Jarvan knockup or a Galio knockup or a Shockwave displacement or a Bard Temper
Fate.
Temper Fate. Hiya, there you go.
Nice hit on the bindings, traded damage back and forth. Expect that first Bio-Arcane Barrage from Piglet to always do damage before that first melee wave goes down.
Yeah, that's a whole theory behind laning the Kog'Maw here. Aggressive with W up, passive with W down, and actually both lanes play appropriately around that cooldown. It is a long cooldown. It's 17 seconds, I believe, at level 1, and definitely have to use those openings as such. We already saw Contractz go in for the very quick red steal, since they chunked Dardoch out early and they saw him go back to that blue side, and they know for a fact he started there because of the delayed pull from the bottom lane and then arriving in the lane late. So Contractz takes advantage. Good team communication from Cloud9, able to steal away the red from Dardoch.
So does anything on the map, as a jungler, if you knew that happened, he started bottom, would you say, due to something on the map, I want to go top or mid, or would you try to track Dardoch in that case of knowing what's happening?
In the case where the lane matchups we have for this game, I would definitely try and track Dardoch. So you can see Contractz, not only does he steal the red, he leaves behind his trinket ward to make sure that Dardoch did in fact go at least check his red. So not only does he steal it, he gets notification, yes, Dardoch did check it and he was fooled. So he's going to be able to pretty easily keep track of him. Mid lane's the only thing that really has to worry right now. Jensen's actually warding for himself right now as well. If he wards on the top side, they also have Scuttler on top side. It makes it very easy now for Jensen to just hover on the top side of the map.
Yep.
And Contractz even is able to find Dardoch with the Scryer's Bloom plant. So they continue to deny any sort of early moves from the Gragas. All calm farming thus far.
Makes it pretty easy. I mean, somebody had to hit it, so they give a ping to Contractz, but they really don't know what his pathing is at the moment. Figures he has a red, but where does he go with that second red? He's quite powerful already. Looks like Dardoch's going to head towards the top side. No real push on either. His Impact loves to push that lane, get a roam, place that ward. He's been playing very safe and kind of baiting in Dardoch, or Rainover, I should say, in last games in the instances that he can.
Yeah, he's going to have to use his teleport back to that, wave, because it is kind of pushed up there and doesn't want to let Lourlo freeze it. So he gets back, and there's a possible move here as Gnar's about to turn Mega. Oh, he's on the ward. No, he's not. Oh, now he is.
See, he stays. Just as we were talking about, making it look comfortable.
Punched him in the face there, too.
Big minion wave coming in. Gnar comes out. He's got a wave to dance around as the fight in bot happens. They have to walk right away there. And he didn't really take any damage knowing he had the minion wave coming in. He used it as a shield.
Yeah, just as we said last game. Impact again. These are plays that don't show up in statistics. He's delaying enemy jungler time. Sees Dardoch on the ward, stays up, then he counters the attempted engage from Lourlo. Quick knock in the noggin there. Doesn't even take any damage, delays more jungle time.
Gets most of that CS. It'll catch him up. There's the hop. Flashes might have to be blown here, and they get Lourlo's flash. As soon as Dardoch leaves top, they answer back.
That is an interesting choice to trade flashes with the Gnar. Now, you're kind of banking on the fact that since this wave is pushed up, Gnar's going to have to play a bit defensive here because Impact still has his flash. So you can set up the gank, and Jarvan, when he's level 6, can get back there. I wonder if they're actually going to be able to punish it, or if he's just kind of making him blow flash so that the Gnar is less aggressive and less abusive in lane with the constant harassment in range 4 and the boomerang spam.
Impact is kind of like side harassing. He's passing the Q through minions, but making sure it lands after them. So damage on Lourlo, but making sure that wave stays there. See just a few, leave one, so they have to be slowed a bit. Here it resets. Call me a liar, but he was doing it, I promise. 9.2 to 8.8. Just a quick fight back and forth. The wallop comes down, but Impact, what a control in this lane. Just 2 rings in. And it's just potion chugging for Lourlo at this point.
Ooh.
Good steal. Very
Tipper
nice.
there on the big chicken. Oh, they're going for it. Taliyah wall comes in. They know Contractz doesn't have flash because he traded with top lane.
Level 6 for Impact. Does he come in to help? He does. They're going to stay outside the charge, and they know they can hit him just after. Does the Shockwave come through? Goldenglue down to 100 HP. Jensen picks it up. Shockwave is still available in this fight. He's waiting for him to center up. If he pulls it back to himself, he's got a good one. There it is! Hits it out of waits perfectly and just dances around this fight. Loses his teammate, but picks up the 3 kills for the team, along with Impact. 3-2, just 7 minutes in. Let's see it again.
Jensen is king of the hill afterwards. So this, I think it's a good call. And I'm like, oh yes, Team Liquid, they want to take advantage. They know Contractz doesn't have his flash from topside because they traded it. But Goldenglue gets absolutely annihilated there. Impact uses his flash, gets him with a taunt. Jensen, huge play to take him out immediately, and then walks up for the double shockwave. Almost buys time. There is a ward in that brush that Team Liquid place, so they are able to get the kill on Impact, but Jensen gets 2 of those kills right onto the Orianna. And this is, as we said before, basically the star player for Cloud9. Kind of the pivotal player that they play around so much. And him on Orianna is definitely the place they want to be.
Goldenglue just coming up. Looks like he's just going down as well. Jensen picks up his 3rd kill of the game.
Goldenglue goes up, Goldenglue goes down. And you see the Bard interaction with the Cataclysm there. Nice to create some extra territory for an easy stun. Smoothie also able to put out a lot of damage. Nice roam from him. Bottom lane back there for now. Sneaky gets a little bit worse for wear, but should be able to get some healing up from those Bard charms.
And C9 gets pretty much what they comped for. They hit level 6 and they say, oh, little skirmishes? Sweet, let's do it. Even more so than last time. They get a fight right above mid. Jensen gets very big. And I don't think he's really had the chance to back yet. He did, but still has 900 gold in his pocket for his next spike item. And that's going to be way quicker, maybe a 10-minute.
They ping down onto the blue buff, but here comes Dardoch. He's in early. So what Dardoch was counting on there was the body slam touching. It was just a couple pixels off of touching Smoothie though, so he didn't get that knockup, didn't get that stun to hold him in place for the ultimate, and that allows Smoothie, to flash out and get his magical journey off.
Oh my word. These aren't the games that are fun here for Dardoch, always having Contractz on his tail. And they just basically walk around him even without having full vision. Facing off time and what the lane is doing. Here again, they're able to steal off the blue. See if they get back for their own at this time. It's like an easy in, easy out. Everybody has a chance to get over a wall here with the team. And TL looks to make a fight, and Cloud9 kind of just pops over the wall.
Yeah, and that's just really, really difficult to deal with for Goldenglue. Not only is it a 3-kill Orianna, and Jensen's the one playing it, but they're stealing away blue. They're controlling your mana reserve now. Your resources are extremely limited. The vision is all Cloud9's around mid lane. So Goldenglue is definitely a target. He knows it. He did have that ward expire that just saw Contractz walk to here, though, so he should be playing appropriately. Contractz wants to EQ over and ult, but Goldenglue uses that speed of the work ground that we talked about. And this is him actually using a bit of jungler time.
Yep. Every little bit they can get back here will be very helpful. Contractz seems to have way too much control over jungle paths and just being able to kind of be an annoyance to each one of TL's lanes.
Lourlo just came out of Mega Form, so he's going to have to charge up for quite a while here. And Jensen's heading on the way. They're not going to try and give him any time. Contractz goes in early, gets half his health off, and they're going for this dive.
Their shot shields. Here's the turret. They got him down below half before they even needed to dive. He's going to pull himself out. A few more hits, gets him that Mega Gnar. He's going to buy time. Taliyah won't be coming up the mid, but it will help the team get a little bit more pressure on mid and on that bot side. We'll see what happens.
Dardoch looking to answer. Blast cone's over. Smoothie sees him, and they get the stun this time.
Oh, they go for Smoothie. I would have said almost sneaky at that point, but the fight was just to actually pressure them off. It looks like they'll have the turret as well. Top side and bottom side pressure for both teams.
Yeah, minion wave was not cooperating there. Team Liquid trying to push it up, so bottom lane DPS could not answer, and Dardoch has to back off. They don't blow his ultimate, though, so they keep the cooldown. Rushing onto the turret, though. This is first turret bonus. Will Team Liquid add to the stats? No! Smoothie's going to delay it.
The hits, the flashes, the body slams, and they do. 2 games in a row, Team Liquid grabbing that first turret blood for themselves. Do they push this one farther? Lourlo on the wrong side of possibly the right fight. And he gets a 2v1 on that as he goes to Mega Gnar. Beautifully played to buy himself time. He almost did it in the last fight too. There are just too many members of C9.
Jensen left alone in that mid lane as Goldenglue is threatening the roam down to bottom side. It's unnecessary, though, and Team Liquid still get the first turret bonus once again. Regardless, Cloud9 with their 5 kills in a pretty good spot here. We'll see if they answer back on the turrets, though, because Team Liquid are actually swapping up to the top side to keep the domino effect rolling. They want to get the extra outer here, and Cloud9's defenses are a little bit far behind. Currently, Contractz as well as Impact are heading up there, but it's going to be Team Liquid favored numbers game here.
Dardoch on the edge, making sure this push for Lourlo, Piglet, and Matt is a little bit safer on that top side. Contractz moves down now through the blue side jungle.
This could be all 5 members of Team Liquid. Remember that Goldenglue with the Taliyah can just push the wave and roam up to the top side, so Cloud9 probably going to lose another turret here as they're trading on bottom side, keeping Sneaky and Smoothie down there.
Just thank you very much. Maybe not Goldenglue that's getting it, but Dardoch steals back to blue. TL grabs the top. And again, C9 is trying to play a little bit of catch-up here as they start dropping that bot turret.
They get the trade off. Meanwhile, Cloud9 trying to hold their mid lane here. Jensen continuing to rake in that farm.
Yeah.
And anytime you do trades like that, you have to split the map. Your mid laner hovers to your bottom side if you are Cloud9, and if you're Team Liquid, your mid laner hovers to the top side. Drake and Rift Herald may be traded here. Dardoch should probably be going for that one. He slips over to the other side. It's going to be a mountain for the Rift Herald. Rift Herald actually, at this stage in the game, I do have a high value on it because I just love getting mid lane turret down early. So
yeah,
if they're able to utilize that Rift Herald for a mid lane push and get that turret down to open up the jungle, then I actually think that trade is pretty decent, even though a lot of teams love the early mountain drakes and prefer that side of the trade. We'll see, though, because Cloud9 have already heavily weakened Team Liquid's own mid lane, and that might even be something they go for.
Yeah, that separation as they went back to buy just probably about 2 or 3 minutes ago. They got Morel Namicons. I was like, oh, Goldenglue's, wow, that's pretty close. And then he threw a Haunting Guys in on Jensen's side. I was like, that's how much extra money he had. Now, can't really be fought or toyed with in the mid lane. That pink ward replaced, as we saw it disappear real quick. It looks like Vision is trying to be moved around here by Liquid where they feel it's comfortable to protect it. I think that has to be careful here. And a little ahead of himself.
Yep, C9 going for it. One more little chunk. Goldenglue! You step too close to the shockwave, buddy.
Just a few more hits. 97. HP, I think Sneak can get up and get one for himself.
I actually want to see that again. Goldenglue used both summoners. We didn't quite see the setup for it. Smoothie actually is roaming down towards the mid lane. And they do have a Galio ultimate, remember. So Cloud9 are just trying to defend,
Yeah.
while Sneaky's able to get solo turret gold. I don't know if they can actually defend, though, because Team Liquid are pushing hard on bottom side, pushing them off.
Gotta be melee Cog. Close. Do more damage. No, I'm just kidding. Good clear by Winds of War for Impact. Does this actually keep Lourlo in? A quick taunt, double knockup from the flag, and Greg! And that's what it looks like when you stay a little too long and C9 wants a fight. 7-2 here. TL's been able to pick up a lot of the map, but they gotta be careful to get out safely as they're doing it.
I mean, I guess Lourlo only has 40 armor on Gnar since, you know, Black Cleaver and technically Doran's shield doesn't give armor, it just blocks damage. But
This mid again.
yeah, let's take another look at this. Because Goldenglue, as we said, he used his flash already, and then he goes back in and then uses the heal. Stuck right in there with the shockwave, goes down, and that's kind of where this all began. So Cloud9, they get that kill onto Lourlo on the bottom side. Also, Sneaky during that took the top lane turret by himself, got some more solo gold.
Surfing away. Keeps himself safe. Their jungle is completely lit up. They know exactly where TL's going the entire time. It's going to be hard to make any moves or get any of these Weaver's walls to be a surprise onto C9. They have to slowly kind of absorb what TL's doing, though. They've been able to answer back with a few of their own turrets, but TL seems to still feel there in the driver's seat, and it's actually a really good strategy.
Oh, teleport flank coming in. Contractz wants to engage.
One's locked up. How they play the protection game for Goldenglue now. There's the teleport from Lourlo. Gnar immediately, and C9 sees the same thing, backing off. They're going to go ahead and hit the Rift Herald, but turrets are prepped now in the mid and the bot side. If TL gets that big fight, they open up the map.
Yep, Cloud9 do have the positioning on the mid lane, so they get the minions going their way. Team Liquid, remember, Goldenglue used his wall already, so they don't have it. And Cloud9 get a bunch of alone time with this turret.
Kind of the thing, you take the positions to get, or you take the steps to get in a position to take mid with that Rift Herald. If it doesn't work, you basically lose exactly the same thing. C9's right there to push right back. Contractz is going to get the hit. Two-member knock-up. That's going to be right on a Goldenglue. He goes down, and Contractz gets himself up for the team fight. So Cloud9 can come out on top.
Yep, Lourlo, no teleport, and he just keeps split pushing, but it's going to be at the cost of an inhibitor turret there. Smoothie had a nice flash on Bard to answer and follow up with that Galio ultimate. Contractz, you know, it's often the job of the Jarvan in this Galio-Jarvan combo to go down with the ship and just get in place, get the Cataclysm down for the Galio ultimate to set it up. Lourlo, though, trying to answer back here with some damage on at least the inhibitor turret.
Happy to be back in Gnar mode, swinging away. Looks like he is, or mini Gnar, swinging away, and now is running away. Flash, heal. So a lot of other flashes down on that side of TL. Flash heal up for Sneaky, so this fight could be big. He also keeps himself protected and safe, taking red. Baron in a minute 14. Cloud, 1 minute. And we'll see this fight in mid one more time.
Contractz, there was a control ward on that top side. Really nice flank there. Gets right over the wall. Perfect placement for the Galio ultimate. Smoothie, as we said, flashes forward, grabs that stun so that they're able to get those 2 kills and push on to the inhibitor.
Pink wards for C9. Clearing and pushing them forward. And it looks like Impact's going to take to that side lane. Even without his ult or that teleport up, they feel the map is at least objective-free enough for him to get a quick push. He's got at least 2.5 waves stacked up, so that'll have to be respected by Lourlo. And now Impact gets to make a move that could really affect the fight first. Oh, looks like Lourlo might have to follow. Get some wards in, but he's going to have to go deep for that wave. See if Cloud9 activates here on the top side of the jungle.
I hear a Goldenglue fighting in the mid lane. All right, Dardoch, though. He's got his blast cone to fight over. Oh, he won the fight. Trounced that son.
The little wins.
Honestly, though, let's talk about Cloud9 Siege. Caitlyn, Sneaky, he's been patiently farming Riv. He's almost to his first seal item completion. They were able to pressure this turret down, you know, and go purchase with their money. They'll probably be able to complete that in time for setting up perfectly with all these Baron baits. They've already got ward control over the red quadrant. And Cloud9 kind of leisurely walking this one in. It's such a big shift from the first game, as we said, like drafting a completely different style. Oftentimes when you see teams try out the split pushing or, you know, team compositions that require more precision and they fail with them, they'll often just go right to these team fight 5-on-5.
Oh. A flash for a Cataclysm there. Contractz almost taking the fight. They actually respect what's happening coming in from Lourlo, so Impact's not there to also join in, and things go over to Baron. They're trying to set up the Bushwhack with all of this pressure on the top side, but TL is not leaving each other's side.
Nope, neither Cloud9, all holding hands here in the brush. There they go.
Oh man, Matt, what can you do for Piglet? Glacial Fisher goes down, not much. Even the Shockwave comes in, a little overkill there as they died a lot faster than he thought. Coming up with another clockwork wind-up auto attack. It's a double kill for Jensen, ghosting forward for a fast kill. Impact's holding off Lourlo, but this matchup has changed.
That is going to be Baron, though. So Lourlo, with this red buff on Gnar, is going to be able to pressure and grab this inhibitor turret. And with Dardoch coming down, probably the inhibitor. But, as I said, the Baron should go over to Cloud9 unless Goldenglue is able to make something happen here. Can he steal it?
Weaving dreams. Heading around, gonna go over a pink ward. It looks like he's just out on this one. Baron is gonna be going over to Cloud9, 21 minutes in as they're making big moves on this game. Answered back by TL on the bot side, however.
Yep, since Cloud9 picked up the Baron buff, the Baron empowered recall means that they can't finish the inhibitor. They did get the turret, but without the inhibitor down, you don't have the super minions, and Cloud9 will be very happy to utilize this Baron. Sneaky with his static shiv now done to put out a very big chain of damage.
Get energized. Try to do what he can. Piglet not coming online as fast as last game, actually going through that power trough that Kog'Maw sees, but still can be late game Kog'Maw. Just doesn't have that hurricane yet, isn't spreading out as much damage throughout the fight. It's just single target at the moment.
Yeah, it looks like with this blasting one too, he's going his Rage Blade before.
That's true.
Even completing. But sitting on a blasting one, not too helpful. Contractz though gets belly bumped back a little bit. They see the two solo laners in mid, so they want to try and chase these guys down. But one of those solo laners is a Galio. You have to really respect that ultimate at this point because C9 has such a healthy lead at this point.
Not amazing wave clear until Piglet gets that hurricane. A little ways off here, you can see him just solo shooting out these melee or these minions from the Baron. Taking quite a bit of time, and it's enough time for C9 to put pressure on the bot. Possibly this next one as well, as Goldenglue won't be able to do much to clear it, and they're going to be able to stand tall here on the steps. Whoa! Should be all right. Not really like they want to start a fight on him, but just enough room for Sneaky that he can't hit the turret. Nicely played.
Yeah, Caitlyn setting up her traps. Gonna be able to get some easy shots here on the turrets. One more wave being ushered up. We usually say this, but yeah, Baron buff can be used to accelerate the minions, get them there a little bit quicker.
Top side could use a friend, but it's going to be moving in slowly for C9 as they work the bottom. Tempered Fate to slow down Goldenglue's damage return, and that's going to be a very quickly dead Lourlo. Even in Mega form, they're heading for Matt. Last few shots, the Winds of War, as well as Jensen able to pick that one up. And now they're on to the inhibitor. 13-4, sub 30 minutes. Cloud9 making fast work at TL's base, and they're going to go back for the mid inhibitor as it's up again.
Yeah, they might not even end up leaving this base. 20 seconds on Lourlo.
Big wave.
Looks like they want to collect all 3 inhibitors, maybe. Sneaky left alone in the mid lane, and the rest of Cloud9 have no more minions to work with.
I gotta wait. They're ordering more, though. Promise to be here before 25 minutes. Good delivery time. Respectful. Looks like they're gonna get a bit of vision on the way out. They won't clear, but I don't think anybody's a straggler. Sneaky actually does see that one. Makes it safe for the rest of the team. They won't get picked off here. Actually up to them. They keep taking small things, but it doesn't look like they're going to find too much trouble. So see this fight one more time. Nice Tempered Fate to start things off, and just power through for C9.
Yeah, look at that combo. The Shockwave lands, but at the same time, Team Liquid almost able to get one off of their own. Jensen flashes forward, grabs the other kill, and Cloud9 leave only one inhibitor for Team Liquid to work with.
You see a 17-6 record coming out. TL having a deficit there. Pretty spicy. 7-0-4 though for Jensen, really heating things up. Looks like he's about to finish himself a Rabadon death cap. That's really wants to go. 13,000 gold at 9,000 to Goldenglue. So what a lead he got just from those 3 kills. Just from, I say, the early game 3 kills. You have to be able to use that, and he really was able to put the pressure in other places.
Definitely was a big collapse there when Contractz was in the river. Dardoch gets stunned up and they lose a little bit of health off of him, but the big issue is the top lane push here. Cloud9 almost onto the turret. Uh-oh. Goldenglue goes golden.
Glacial Fissure to lock them down and stop them. They have a few of these to work with. Weaver's Wall, Glacial Fissure. Those being down means C9 feels a bit more comfortable at stepping forward.
All right, pretty comfortable, you could say that. Piglet's down to half health. He does have his flash available, so that's one thing that Team Liquid can bank on. They really need that damage output. His Rage Blade is completed, so if they're praying to the League gods for a savior here, then that is going to be the one.
You can see he's hitting wards, hitting other things, trying to keep that Rage Blade stacked as much as he can. He loses a bit of damage each time it ticks down. Here we are back to the turret. Impact's going to be right in his face. Can't get away from the taunt. Very hard to play with for a Kog'Maw, but they are actually not really decided on what they're going to fight. They turn towards Dardoch now to the turret, and they may look for more TL members after this, but they play it safe. If it's there, we will take it. And that was just Lourlo in front of the inhibitor. He had to go first.
And C9 on the Nexus turret. It's going to even this series up 1-1.
Shot first on the Nexus turret. The other one has already fallen with the work C9's been putting on the base. Piglet very nicely done on the outside. Slows down the clip at which they're going to be able to take this one. The Acathian Surprise not scaled up enough per level to take down Impact on the passive. And it's just ever so slowly they're going to take this Nexus. Maybe even the minion pockets the last bit of gold, since you do cash in from the Nexus last hit. C9 brings us to a game 3 over Team Liquid.
10-0-4. Jensen ends the game on
Nice.
Orianna.
He was dancing around, man. He had those ballerina shoes on, blue suede shoes, if you will. Jensen. Orianna had the ballerina shoes on. Like, the team's so happy as well to come back from that one and just say, okay, weren't really playing our game. We got a little messed up trying to split push as they pressured us into different things. So let's play what they want to play, because we feel like we can do it at another level.
Especially with the way the meta is right now, I feel like that is the best course of action. As we were saying before, after you try out a composition that requires a little bit more macro control, a little bit more communication, and they don't find success with it, just default to the 5-on-5. Grab yourself some tanks, grab yourself some late game carries, and as soon as we saw Jensen get those early kills in the river with the little chase onto Contractz, him getting the lane control after that, him getting the kill money for that, him also getting to play against a summonerless opponent after that allowed Cloud9 to even repeat pressure on that mid lane, and he just took off.
Felt good for that. You got to carry that into next game, because they're not always put on the platter for you. It only gets harder as you get into game 3. But for a deeper dive on that one, let's hand it off to Dash and Mark.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. I'm not sure it got harder for C9 in game 2 here, though. A much smoother game for them this time around. C9 extending to a third game. Let's go ahead and pull champion select up, because one major change that we want to highlight here for Cloud9.
This champion's pretty good for Jensen, I hear.
Pretty good on that champion. Pretty good on that champion. Let's remember that in game 1, he did play the TF. And I know you had some thoughts there. There is a justification for playing TF.
You're playing Team Liquid, one of the last place teams in the league. Your team is often maligned for only being able to play one style. You have an Alistar taken. They had a Jarvan, I believe, in that game as well. They have the tools to jump in, and Orianna obviously combos great with that. You have a Tristana. You could probably have picked that champion and won that game.
Right.
That said, if you want to try and improve and try something out on the LCS stage, that's the perfect time to do it. So they have the trundle. They say, let's try a split push comp.
Right.
I don't think C9 legitimately thinks that picking TF there increases
the absolute ideal.
Yeah, increases their chances to win. I think it's pretty obvious that Orianna would have increased their chance to win. So I think they were just trying a different style. After they lose that game, they said, okay, we got to get serious here.
Exactly.
And I think that's when they buckle back down onto this Orianna.
Had the game to give. They come back this time, put Jensen on the Orianna, and now we're going to show you why he is so damn good at this champion. Let's roll it out. This is only 7 minutes into the game. This is Team Liquid looking to make the play, but C9 will come out on top 3-2.
Pretty heads-up play out of C9 all around. The ultimate's coming in from Impact. Contractz is trying to get health back by taking the Honey Fruit up. That buys enough time for Impact to eventually get in. They slam down
Eyes on
Goldenglue.
Jensen here.
Yeah, and then this is what I really like is as Impact is clearly losing this fight in his health bar, Jensen steps forward to get this nice shockwave off, pull both people back closer to him and away from Impact. They are almost able to DPS Lourlo down and get it a 3-for-1. Ends up being a 3-for-2, but he gets fed off of it and then just goes off the rest of the game.
Right, and the importance there is he's using the Qs to reposition as well, but you always have to remember that you can use the E to reposition the ball onto yourself, and he moves into the right position to get that shockwave, so maximizing the DPS with his rotations of spells and hitting 2 targets with big shockwave allows them to come out on top. Crucial, too, is that he got 2 of those 3 kills, so it sets him up for tremendous success in the mid lane.
Right, he gets another kill, punishing Goldenglue roaming a little bit, gets his own roam up to the top side, something people have sometimes criticized him for not being able to do well enough, and just completely took over the game. The one thing was TL, for the most part, was doing okay in a sense of trading objectives. I think they got first turret, they had a couple turrets overall, and then they had a couple crazy plays where, you know, while C9 was taking advantages with their 5-man group, TL was still taking turrets, and they built up some CS leads given the fact that 18 minutes in the game, C9 had an inhibitor down, and that kind of takes a lane of farm away from you.
They had 4 extra turrets. They had like 13 to 4 kills, so like 9 extra kills, and yet they were only 7K ahead, and that was with a Baron in their pocket as well. So it spoke to the fact that Team Liquid was really relying on the split push pressure from the Gnar and just the hard farming with the inhibitors down. All in all, though, you look at Jensen's damage numbers here. No surprise that he gets player of the game for that collapse, and then utilizing the gold that he got to push forward for a victory for the team. That's a pretty fantastic gold graph out of C9. Now I want to talk about Team Liquid. You won game 1. You had Reign over Reign, and we even both admit that Reign over didn't have a spectacular game. He wasn't even necessarily the reason they won, but you did win. Why are you throwing Dardoch in? Why are you swapping things up? He had the 0-2 loss yesterday. The team went 2-0 with Reign over the previous week. Why aren't you sticking with what is seemingly working, even if you can't identify why it's working?
It's like a trick question. I can't answer it, James.
I know, right?
I'm not exactly sure why they choose to put Dardoch back in here. Like you said, Reignover, if you look at some of the plays he made that game, they're actually pretty poor. In that first gank, he could have flashed on top of Impact and potentially got a kill for the Maokai there. Didn't actually do it. That lane gets out of control. And so maybe they were saying, we don't think you're playing that well. Let's see how Dardoch's playing this series. And then maybe game 3, you can make a more educated guess. I can understand that, but at the same time, Team Liquid as a team was playing pretty well.
Right.
And we don't have, you know, the comms. We don't know exactly who's saying what, but unless Reignover was a problem in communication, you could say, well, hopefully he'll have a better game the next game and he'll keep his comms up as well.
Right. Also, not to say that this game was a fault of Dardoch.
No.
He actually was one of probably the top performers individually for the team, but again, something about the squad as a 5-man unit seems to be clicking, at least more recently with Reignover, just slightly better. Moving into game 3 here, though, for Cloud9, they definitely want to close it out. We pinpointed at the beginning of the day, they have the easiest schedule in the last 2 weeks of those top 6 teams. They did go down a game here against Team Liquid, so it is about closing it out. I mean, do they just draft that hard team fighting comp again and rely on being better?
I think that's what they should go for. I mean, you don't want to risk losing a game here, end up with a worse playoff opponent just because you were experimenting in week 8 of the LCS. I think that's a pretty risky decision to go for. Now, that said, you do have a lot of other things you can draft. So if the Orianna does go away, I mean, we're in a team fight meta for the most part. While we do have Camille's and these other things you can use, you can find a couple tanks. You can find a carry mage for Jensen to play, and then there's everything you want down the bot lane.
All right, teams are all tied up. We'll return to see if Team Liquid can pull off the upset and take down Cloud9 in just a few minutes. See you soon.
He pulls it back to himself. He's got a good one. There it is! Hits it out of waits perfectly and just dances around this fight. Loses his teammate. Push right back. Contractz is going to get the hit. 2-member knockup. That's going to be right on a Goldenglue. He goes down, and Contractz gets himself up for the team fight.
Kog'Maw, guys, Kog'Maw. He's done. Yeah, go on, come on. Oh, it's one back. I'm ghosting for Braum. I'm cheating. I'm Jensen, up to you. Nice.
Goldenglue's damage returned, and that's going to be a very quickly dead Lourlo. Even in Mega Form, they're heading for Matt. Last few shots, the Winds of War, as well as Jensen able to pick that one up. But they are actually not really decided on what they're going to fight. They turn towards Dardoch now to the turret, and they may look for more TL members after this. But they play it safe. If it's there, we will take it.